Two men meet in the sky, one trained to kill, and the other barely holding his shattered aircraft together. It's December 1943. A young American bomber pilot limps through the frozen air over Germany, his plane torn apart, his crew wounded, and his guns silent. He is defenseless. He is finished. And then, a German fighter pulls up beside him. This is the moment everything should have ended. But instead, something astonishing happens. The German pilot looks into the eyes of his enemy and chooses not to fire. And in a war defined by duty and order and survival, one man risks everything to do what is right. Because sometimes the greatest strength isn't pulling the trigger, it's refusing to. And this story from World War II is a very important one, but likely one you've never heard. It's the story of a fighter pilot who defied expectations, rejected pressure, and chose conscience over command. And what he did in that moment still challenges us today. And the question is the same today as it was yesterday. What do you do when doing the right thing costs you everything? The American pilot's name was Charlie Brown. He was 21 years old, flying a B-17 bomber on a mission that had already gone horribly wrong. German anti-aircraft fire had ripped through his plane. The nose of the aircraft was shattered, engines failing, hydraulic systems gone, the tail section mangled, crew members badly wounded. One gunner was already dead, and another covered in his blood. And inside the bomber, there was chaos. And imagine this scene: metal rattling, brutally cold winds screaming through holes in the fuselage, men yelling over the engines, the smell of smoke, oil, blood, and burned rubber, and the realization slowly setting in, probably not making it home. They were easy prey, and that's when Franz Stigler entered the scene. He was a seasoned German fighter pilot, a man who had already seen more than his share of war. And as he approached the crippled bomber, he saw exactly what he had been trained to see: an enemy target, a guaranteed kill, one more victory, one more step closer to honor, one step closer to recognition. And yet, as he drew near, something unexpected happened. He saw the crew, not as targets, but as men, as fellow human beings, wounded, terrified, and helpless. And in that moment, Franz Stigler faced a choice. He could follow orders, do what was expected, and take the shot, or do what he knew deep down was right. And later he would say that attacking that plane would have been like shooting a man in a parachute. And so he didn't. Instead, he did something almost unthinkable. He flew alongside the bomber, close enough for Charlie Brown to see his face. And he signaled for him to land, tried to guide them to safety. When they refused because they feared it was a trick, he made a different decision. He stayed with them, escorting the crippled American bomber out of German airspace, protecting them from other fighters, risking his own life, his own reputation, even execution if he was discovered. And then, when they reached safer skies, he gave a final salute and he turned away. And Charlie Brown and his crew made it home. They lived. Because one man chose conscience over command. Now here's the part that matters for us. Because most men will never sit in a fighter plane with a finger on the trigger. But every man will face pressure. Pressure to go along, pressure to stay silent, pressure to do what everyone else is doing, even when it's wrong. At work, with friends, online, and even in private. And the truth is, most men don't collapse all at once. They drift. They compromise. They tell themselves, it's not that big a deal. Everyone else is doing it. I don't want to stand out. I don't want the consequences. And little by little, strength without conscience takes over. And that kind of strength doesn't make you a man. It makes you dangerous. Franz Stigler had every reason to pull that trigger. It would have been easy, expected. In fact, it would have been rewarded. But he understood something most men forget. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And real strength is not found in dominance, it's found in restraint. It's found in the ability to stand alone when everyone else is moving in the wrong direction. It's found in choosing what is right, especially when it costs you something. Because it will cost you something. Respect, opportunities, comfort, and approval. Stigler risked all of that. And in doing so, he showed us what moral courage actually looks like. It's not loud, it's not performative, it's just a quiet, unshakable decision. I will not become something I know is wrong. Years after the war, Charlie Brown and Franz Stigler actually reunited. Former enemies, now friends. And their story became proof that even in one of the darkest moments in human history, courage and humanity still existed. And maybe that's the challenge for us too. So here's the question. Where are you being pressured right now to compromise? Where are you tempted to go along instead of standing firm? Where are you choosing strength without conscience? Because the line between good and evil is not out there somewhere. It runs right through your decisions every day. And in those moments when no one would blame you, when no one might even notice, you have the same choice Franz Stigler had. You can follow the crowd or follow your conscience. One leads to regret and the other to something higher. Strength without conscience becomes evil. But strength guided by conscience, well, that's what makes a man. So ask yourself this, what kind of man do I want to become? The answer to that question should guide every decision you make. And I know because I've lived it. There are times when making the right decision is easier said than done. So I put together a free resource called the 7-Day Faith and Fortitude Challenge to help you start moving down the path to becoming the man you want to be. It's absolutely free, no strings attached. Link below. Oh, and one more thing before you go. Many of us at times find it hard to take action. We make up all kinds of excuses for not doing the things we know we need to do. That can lead us to think that we are simply lazy. But it's actually not usually the case. It's something more than that. And once you discover what it is, it can have a profound effect on your life. Click the video link here to learn what it is.